Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Good morning. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning, you two.
Yeah, I don't know, Skip. I'm about to win the late first round of this draft right here, Skip.
Oh, here come Kawhi's Clippers. They go get Cool Hand Luke Kennard. He's a 40% career three-point shooter. And they clear cap space for you-know-who, playoff Rondo. You're in trouble.
Can I ask you a question? If Cool Hand Luke was so Cool Hand Luke, why Detroit let him go?
Well, it's just too much that they offered for him. They gave up the sun and the moon. Landry Shamet. Yeah.
Skip feeling confident over there about the Clippers.
I'm feeling real good about them.
How about this, guys? LaMelo Ball, well, he was confident as well. He said he was born to be the #1 pick in last night's NBA draft, but now he might have a chip on his shoulder. LaMelo fell behind Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman. Michael Jordan reportedly gave the Hornets his stamp of approval for the youngest Ball brother, and the team ran with it, selecting him 3rd overall. So, Shannon, are LaMelo and MJ a good match?
Man, look here. Skip, all I'm trying to see is LaVar and MJ get this one-on-one on. I mean, LaVar been calling this thing out, so it's right there now. So let's go on and get this thing on and put this to the side, and we're going to move forward. In all seriousness, Skip, LaMelo is not going to have the day-to-day. Mike is not coaching the team. So he's not going to be in day-to-day contact with LaMelo. I just think the thing is, like, LaMelo just, and Skip, everybody, even the greats that came after Michael and met him has says what? He's a godlike figure. From Shaq to LeBron to everybody is in awe of him. Now, the difference is LaMelo was 2 years old when Jordan retired.
Yep.
So he doesn't have maybe he doesn't have the same mystique or aura.
I don't know. He knows the shoes.
Yeah. He's still Michael Jordan.
I know.
And you still wanted those Jordan shoes, and they came from somewhere.
Yep.
Skip, is it a good match? I don't understand how it would be a bad match. I just think the thing is, for me, is that because Michael is who he is, he had to have signed off on this. Skip, kind of like, most, for the most part, most owners are not Michael Jordan. They didn't play the game at the elite level. Well, he's the only one that played the game at the elite level. I don't think any other owners played
No.
maybe in high school, but not to this degree, Skip. And so for me, is it a bad fit? I don't understand how it would be a bad fit. I really don't, Skip. As long as he doesn't go in there with the expectations that I need to impress Mike, that I need to show this, just go be you. Grow, get better and better every day, put the time in. And so for me, I think it's a great fit. We knew these top 3 guys was going to go. We didn't know particular order. It was going to be Wiseman, Edwards, or Melo, Edwards, or Wiseman. But it's funny, Skip, this is the second guy with a very unorthodox shot that Mike has taken with the top 3 pick. Kid Gilchrist in 2012, and now LaMelo in 2020. So
Did Kid Gilchrist even have a shot? I don't know if it's unorthodox. It was non-existent, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
And so, but Skip, I just think the thing is that he had such a high grade on him. And it wasn't like, okay, we knew AD was going first in that draft. That was 2012. Okay, Bradley Beal went 3rd. I think Dame Lillard went 8th. You also had Draymond in that draft. So, Skip, it wasn't like a slam dunk, okay, we got a guy. This is the #1 undoubted pick.
Yep.
There was none of that. And these were the top 3 rated guys, and you was going to get whomever was left at the time you were selecting, you were going to take that guy. So I like the selection. I just hope Melo comes in, keeps his head down, and continue to work like he's done to get to this point. And if he does, I don't think MJ being his owner is going to be a problem.
Okay. Not only do I think it's not going to be a problem, I love this fit. This, for me, was a match made in hoop heaven. LaMelo plus MJ. They needed each other, and I doubted they were going to be able to connect because I still thought right up to game time last night, first pick in the draft, I just thought Minnesota will finally say, he's the most talented kid on the board. We got to do it. We need the box office, if nothing else. And then I thought Golden State, and we're going to talk about this horrible development in a moment, but with Klay's injury, and we don't know exactly how bad it is, but it sounds really bad. I thought maybe they would switch off and say, we just got to take this kid. We got to take LaMelo because we might need him next year to pair him and let him play off Steph a little bit, right? That didn't happen, and I was joyful that he fell to MJ. Why does LaMelo need MJ? Well, look, I know this is impossible, but if I could pour 2 ounces of whatever's inside MJ into this kid, 2 ounces of killer will, I might have something that would be MVP caliber. I might have a player who could eventually carry the Charlotte Hornets, as woeful as they've been under Jordan, might be able to carry him to the conference finals, or dare I say, maybe even to the NBA finals.
Well, Skip, do you think it might be too much weight? Because think about all the other guys that's come through there. I mean, you do have that guy sitting on the baseline. That Steve Ballmer sitting on the baseline is one thing. He ain't the logo.
LaMelo has been told since he was a baby that he was going to be MJ.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yes,
seriously.
I believe, yes.
He has been conditioned to believe with all his heart and soul from his father, and I believe his mother, Tina, also. You are going to be great, great.
Yes.
Listen, LaVar sat right here 4 years ago. It wasn't on TV. It was in a break. But he said, my youngest, he said, he's going to be by far the best.
Right.
And I believe LaVar believes that with all his heart and soul.
Yep.
And I see the potential greatness. I see the flair. I see the creativity. I see the athletic ability. I see the passing gift that Lonzo has. I see all that. I also see a broken shot just like Lonzo's. His is weird, different. It's a two-hand push shot. He was 20 of 80 in Australia in that pro league. 20 of 80, that's 25%. It won't work at the next level. It'll only get worse before it gets better. So I don't love any of that, and I don't love it that he hasn't even, no one's even introduced defense to him yet. So Michael will become another father figure, big brother, however you want to look at it, that I think will instill some of the proper intangibles in him. And again, you might argue back, you can't teach intangibles. I think being around greatness can rub off. And he'll go to practice, and he'll pull the kid aside, and he'll have him up to the office occasionally. Maybe they'll grab a lunch occasionally. And maybe slowly, by osmosis, just being around greatness, it will start to hit home with this kid, because his potential greatness is obviously completely unbridled, unfocused, undisciplined. It's unmade yet, but it's there. He's 6'7", and he might still be growing. He might be a 6'8" point guard who can also score the basketball. Once upon a time at Chino Hills, he scored 92 points in a game, and I don't care how much you cherry pick, it's hard to score 92. You have to have some gift of scoring ability. And he does. Well,
that was the beginning of the no defense. It might have started in that game. It might have been brewing, but once you get 92, like, oh, I kind of like it.
And that was kind of LaVar coaching the team, even though he wasn't an official coach. And it was all three brothers together, and they went 35-0 and won the California State Championship.
Well, Skip, that was the following year, because remember, LaMelo has broke the record, scored 72, and then he got hurt, and then Melo come back and a couple of games later get 92.
Here we go. Okay, so why does Michael need Melo? Look, I'm, as you well know, above anybody else, I'm the biggest Michael Jordan fan on the planet, but that's as a player. As a team builder, he's been the all-time worst. So he went from greatest to worst. Because 15 years, he has overseen the basketball operation in Charlotte, his home area, home state. And they love him there, obviously, but they do not love what has happened, because they've made the playoffs 3 times in 15 years. Think about that, 3 times. And they lost all 3 first-round series. They got swept twice. And their overall record in the playoffs is now 3-12. That ties Minnesota for the worst playoff winning percentage over the last 15 years. And even if you look at the records of the teams that made the playoffs, it was a 7-7 seed, 7-7, and a 6. And they were 44-38, and 43-39. One year they were 48-34. So they haven't even lit it up in years that they made the playoffs. They've eked in. Okay? It's the all-time embarrassment and humiliation for Michael Jordan. And now he has the greatest show on earth. He's got Ball in the family. He's got LaVar, and he's got LaMelo, and the whole Ball, dare I say, mystique, or whatever you want to call it, the phenomenon. And it's a great sideshow for him, because I will tell you this: I will be watching Charlotte games next year, and I'll bet you will too.
Yeah, I want to see how well he does in a real structured environment.
Exactly. And the team is not very good,
No.
and it wasn't very good last year. But
I like Graham, the rookie.
Hey, Devontae Graham had a breakout year. He was 18 and 8 assists.
Right.
I'm not sure how much he's going to enjoy playing with or off.
The Williams kid from Kentucky.
Washington.
PJ
Washington. Yeah. And Miles Bridges is not bad, and Cody Zeller's not bad. I thought Malik Monk was going to mount to something, and he's having all kinds of problems. And, you know, you look, Terry Rozier's there and scored 18 a game last year. So, I don't know. You know what? It's watchable.
Right.
If you put LaMelo in the mix, at least for me, it might be must-see.
But, Skip, in order for what you hope to happen for Charlotte, LaMelo's going to have to be a superstar because you said you win with superstars.
You do.
And they have some nice players, but they don't have a superstar. And I think the thing is, Mike is going to have to get the #1 pick because the Skip is easy because we can look back and say, okay, Mike was in the 2 slot. It'd have been interesting to see, had Portland been in the 2 slot, would they have taken Dame Lillard with the 2nd pick, or would they have gone the 3 highest graded players on the board like everybody else was going to do? That's the question, Skip, because easy, when you're in the 8th spot, you're like, okay, we like this kid. People are not going to look at us crazy.
No.
But when you're in the top 3 and you take a guy that high and people are like, hold on, wait a minute. Dame, it turned out to be obviously the 2nd best. I believe he's the 2nd best player in that draft behind AD. But Bradley Beal, could he have taken Bradley Beal? Sure, but everybody had Kill Griggs, just like Adam Morris. Adam Morrison.
Yep.
Skip, everybody had...
That was horrendous. I did not. I for one, said that's wrong. I said it before.
Skip, the dude was player of the year in college.
And he wound up crying on the floor when Gonzaga got eliminated. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And then Kwame Brown, Skip. Skip, everybody was going to take Kwame.
I guess so.
Skip, how you 6'10 and a half, 6'11"?
I got it. And he wasn't awful, but he wasn't that guy.
Right.
Okay.
You expect great things at the #1 overall pick. You think Magic, you think Kareem, LeBron, Shaq.
Okay. Now, back to your opening statement that you were half kidding about. I'm not half kidding when I say I believe LaVar will hear one time from Michael Jordan, and I believe Michael's assistant will inform LaVar that he should show up at LaMelo's first practice, what it was, December 1st, whenever it is. Show up. I'm not kidding about this. This is the Jordan I know. And he will, through his assistant, inform LaVar, wear basketball clothing. You know, come ready to play basketball. And LaVar will be like, what? And when practice is over, maybe there'll be a few media members, and Michael, even at age 57, with a little bit of a potbelly now, and he's smoking way too many cigars for my taste, but I believe he will show up and say, you and I now, right here. 57 versus 53 years old, LaVar.
Man, look here. LaVar probably ain't did no movement like this in a very long time.
I would think
And that's
not.
the last thing that you want to do is go out there and tear a calf muscle or pop an Achilles. But I ain't fooling with Mike. Mike, I was just joking. You got it.
Okay.
And we'll keep it moving.
Okay. Because once upon a time, LaVar said, I would have killed him. And he was talking about when they were both in their primes, right? I would have killed him in one-on-one. Killed him?
I mean, look, LaVar would go probably try to play football while Michael's out there trying to play basketball. Because LaVar's a big man. I mean, you look at him now in his 50s, he's a big man. Mm-hmm. So you could imagine he was still a big man in his 20s.
Well, he played tight end in the National Football League for a minute.
Yes.
Just for a minute.
Well, he was on the Jets practice squad, and then I think he was on Carolina for a minute. So obviously he has the physicality, but he ain't beat Mike in no one-on-one.
Hey, I tweeted this last night. In their primes, Michael could have beaten him blindfolded in one-on-one because I saw Michael, that Corey Benjamin kid who made the statement, this is the year Michael retired, and they drafted Corey Benjamin at the bottom of the first round from, was it Oregon State, I think it was, and on draft night he said, oh, my only regret is that Mike's not here, so I could have beaten him in one-on-one, and it was mid-season that year at the Berto Center where they practiced. Michael just shows up out of the blue and sweats. Tim Floyd's the new coach. He's like in awe of like, welcome, Mr. Jordan. And Michael says, would you mind if I played your kid one-on-one when you guys finish? No, if it's okay with him. And, of course, what's Corey Benjamin going to say? No, I'm going to run from it.
He done opened his mouth now.
I watched it. It was destruction, absolute annihilation.
Skip, you know how that is. I mean, when you think you're great, if you take the best basketball player and you put him on a football field, the worst corner will D him up. Mm-hmm. If you take the best football player and put him on a basketball court, the worst basketball player will light him up.
Sure.
You don't get to just because you're great in one sport think you can cross into another sport and be great. It doesn't work like that.
I think LaVar played college basketball at Cal State LA. That's where he met his wife Tina, because she was on the women's team.
Yeah, so I get maybe it was Washington State. Didn't he go to Washington State?
He wound up there to play football.
Yeah,
I thought.
So I think that's where he met. I think that's where he met her.
LaVar's got kind of a hazy, hazy background.
So that's probably why Melo went all over the place, because LaVar has traveled as well as a young man too, trying to find out what he's going to do later in life. But Skip, I mean, I like the pick. I just hope the kid, and we're going to talk about LaVar and his influence on these kids in another segment.
Yep.
But I like the pick, and I just hope LaVar has been said, hey, he's going to be good. He's going to be good. He's going to be better than the oldest. He's going to be bigger than the oldest. He has more. He said I think he had a brother that's like 6'9", 6'8", 6'9", and so.
Yep.
Skip, look, that's a large figure, man. That's a lot. And Skip, you get that. I mean, think about it. You're like, when Magic was around, man, that's a large figure for someone. I mean, even for LeBron. But if you're not LeBron James, Skip, and you see Magic Johnson standing over there with his arms folded on the wall, you see that guy with the bald head and the dark eyes standing on Skip, that's a large figure looming.
Yeah, Magic was just as large to me because it was Lakers for Lonzo, you mean?
Yes.
And Magic announced at the opening media session his jersey will one day hang in these rafters.
Yes.
It will?
Yes. That's an awful lot, but I just hope Melo just goes in there, bees himself. And I don't think, Skip, look, the way his dad has brought him up, he understands who Michael Jordan is. But I just think that he just wants to go in there and show that, okay, you took me with the third pick. Let me show you why.
I just don't think the spotlight is too bright for these kids because they've lived in a fishbowl their whole life.
For the last 4 years, I mean, they got their own TV show, Ball in the Family, and he's all over. He was all over I think he's prepared for this moment. Now
he will be prepared.
18 years old, got to get he already got a bank account. But hey.
So to your point, going into this draft, there's no Shaq. There's no Magic. There's no LeBron. And yet Anthony Edwards, to me, is fine. He's a solid pick for Jenny's Timberwolves, but he's just okay. It's like he's not going to change your life. And I like James Wiseman more than I did Anthony Edwards. But will James Wiseman change life in Golden State? I don't think so. If anybody could potentially reach greatness, it's this kid. He's the most talented.
Right.
He's just got all kinds of flaws that got to get fixed pretty quickly, or this league will eat him alive like Lonzo got eaten alive for his rookie year.
Yeah, but Skip, I mean, how do you change a shot? The guy he's been shooting that shot for 18 years.
I don't know.
How do you break it down? It's like, okay,
Lonzo changed his last year. It took 3 years, but he started changing it. And guess what? He shot 38% from three last year in an abbreviated season.
So do you tinker with it out the box, or you just let him?
That's up to the GOAT. The GOAT's got a big decision to make because I would tinker immediately. I'm going to get my shot doctor, my shooting guru in there, and I'm going to try to fix it sooner than later. You can't let it linger because it doesn't work. And my only issue with LaVar has been from the start. You cared so much about these kids. How did you let both of them shoot so unorthodox a shot that by the time they get to pro basketball, it's just broken?
Skip, it was going in.
I guess so. He did. Again, I kept telling you, why did I love Lonzo coming out of UCLA? He made 41% from the college three-point line.
I give you a prime example, Skip. If you watch the way Tyreek runs, his form is, you shouldn't run like that.
Yep.
But when you run 20.9 in high school and you run 10-2, 10-3 in high school,
I'll buy that.
You leave that alone. Skip, we'll let somebody else fix it. And then when you get to college, if he goes pro, we'll let a professional get. And that's what they did with LaMelo. The high school's like, well, if he goes to college, we'll let them fix it. And if he goes to the NBA, we'll let them fix it. And everybody just keep kicking the can down the road until here we are.
But running is one thing. It's just like God's gift. You just do it. You just run the way you run, and if it works, it works.
Yeah,
but a shot is such a delicate motion that it requires touch.
Right.
And repeatability, that it better be right. You better be able to trust it under fire.
I give you a prime example, Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
You shouldn't throw the ball like Phillip Rivers.
No.
You should have the over. You should have
I can't even describe how it works, but it works.
It's like, yeah.
Okay.
But like you said, it worked for, over 60,000 yards.
60,000 yards. Well, maybe this kid will work, but again, it's not even working at the lower level.
Well, Jamal Wilkes had an unorthodox shot, Skip. You remember the round the head?
Do I? I thought Larry Bird's was a little bit unorthodox because it's completely
because he couldn't even see the ball.
No. I hope, but again, I'm very happy for both of them.
I am too.
And I'll be watching.
Yep.
No mercy.
After missing all of last season with an ACL injury, Klay Thompson is in danger of missing more time. While working out with other NBA players yesterday, Klay suffered a leg injury, and now reports are saying that the Warriors fear it could be his Achilles. He's expected to get an MRI sometime this morning. Shannon, if he's gone for the year, how does this impact the West?
Well, Skip, for me, I did not look at them, and everybody was saying, they're a threat to this. Skip, the days of 67-15, the days of 73-9 Golden State Warriors, that's over. Yeah. That's not happening again. The days of them just running wild in the West, that's over.
Yep.
Even with a healthy Klay, they were never going to be that again. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, you lose a guy that's the ultimate 3-and-D guy. Can go get you 20+. He can get you 60. But he can D up. He's always going to take the toughest assignment, which makes him one of the... That's why I always thought he was arguably the best two-way player, Skip. Because you look at what he was doing. He was getting Kawhi. He was getting KD. He was getting LeBron on a nightly basis. But, hey, Klay, we still need you to give us those 22. And he was doing it.
Yep.
Man, when I got this news and you start, Skip, you're like, Klay has a lower leg injury. And everybody starts sending out prayers. Skip, that ain't no sprained ankle. Ain't nobody sending out no prayers for no sprained ankle, Skip. You know that.
Yeah.
So somebody had started already circulating. You see CJ and you see Dame and you see LeBron and you see all these guys like, hold on, they don't even know. What do they know that we don't? So it lets you know the seriousness of it. This will be tough. Andrew Wiggins is a nice piece, but he ain't Klay Thompson. And Steph is coming back. Steph is going to be healthy. I believe Draymond has the bounce back season, Skip. But he's that piece. He's that lockdown guy that's going to go guard the toughest guy. But he's also going to give you 25. And if you're not careful, he might go get you 37 and a quarter.
He might.
Or he might get you 60 on 20+ dribbles. That's how good he is. Man, it's just, and he just missed a whole season rehabbing an ACL. And here we go, and now it's on, I'm reading that it's on the opposite leg. Man, this will be heartbreaking. This will be heartbreaking to the Warriors, Skip. But even with Klay, Skip, I did not think they were a top 3. I didn't think they were going to be a top 3 seed. I don't see how they move past the Lakers, the Clippers. The Nuggets are going to be right back in the mix again. I thought they were going to be battling from somewhere maybe 3 through 5, maybe 4 through 6, something of that nature.
Yep. So what do we always talk about when it comes to the human body, athletics, and injuries? You tear your ACL on your left leg, and you try to come back, and you start to overcompensate, and you try to protect one side at the expense of the other.
Right.
When I first heard the news, I did not know which leg it was, and I thought, oh, no, did he re-tear the Achilles? Was it not ready for any kind of... I'm sorry, the ACL. Yeah, did he re-tear? No, that was left. This is right. And then they started saying lower, and when you hear lower, it's like, oh, no.
Right.
There's the worst...
It ain't no calf.
No, the worst injury of all. It's the Achilles. And it's possible he was speeding up the process a little bit because all of a sudden the NBA said, we got to go.
Right.
Got to go now. December 1st, we need to open the camps. December 22nd, we need to start playing games. Or we're not going to be able to get this season in and make the money that needs to be made so that you guys can make your money and we can make ours.
Exactly.
Before the Olympics start in July. And maybe he was rushing a little bit. It's plenty of time to come back from the ACL.
Remember, Skip, he tore it in 2019 in June. And so now that's more than enough time because here we are in November of 2020. So that's more than enough time. That's basically KD.
Yep.
He and KD was basically on the same timeline.
They were. I agree. So he was limited in the 2 weeks that they had a little mini camp back in September at Golden State.
Right.
This happened in downtown L.A., and he was playing with a couple of NBA players, Miles Turner and Christian Wood, in some kind of pickup game.
Right.
And who knows? How do you explain it? You can't.
No, nobody can explain the Achilles.
When the Achilles is going to go, it's just going to go.
Right.
You could be walking and it could go. You could be going down the stairs at home and it could just go out for no apparent reason.
I mean, I've seen guys plant and it go. I've seen guys running and all of a sudden, like, man, did you kick me? Nah, bro, I'm way over here. How did somebody kick you? Doctors can't explain why the Achilles tear when it tears.
Cannot. And once you have to reattach it, it's no good. It's at least a year.
Yes.
And sometimes it's never quite right.
Right.
Your calf atrophies and just shrinks, and you can't get the strength back. Now you're not sure about your ACL and you're not sure about your other leg. It's no good. So this is career-threatening.
On two different sides.
Two different sides. You've turned 30. You just got paid. What was that, 5 years, $190 million?
Yeah, he got a max.
Whoo. He's okay that way, but if I know this young man, this is just tearing him apart because he wants to play basketball at the highest level.
Right.
To your point, I know this is controversial, but I always thought he was a little more valuable than even Steph, who won back-to-back MVPs because of what you detailed. This guy is nuclear scorer. He can get even hotter than Steph can ever get because when you think about 37 in a third quarter, in that game against Sacramento, he went 13 for 13 from the field, 9 of 9 from 3 and 2 of 2 from the free throw line. And if you watch you can YouTube the video, I think it's 4 dribbles to score 37 points.
Right.
It's just gone.
What about the 14 threes, Skip?
14 threes is the all-time record for any game in a regular season. And he also has the playoff record of 11 threes. Right. And that was in a big game because that was game 6,
OKC.
Right?
Yep.
He's clutch.
Dropped 60 in 29 minutes.
He will defend whomever.
He does.
He will just go defend them, and he will get up in them, and he will fight them for 4 quarters.
Skip, I think that's where it's going to affect him the most, is the defense.
Yep.
The lateral, the side to side, the sitting in the chair. Now, is he going to be able to sit in that chair for the 30-plus minutes that he was? Because the shot is pure.
Skip, at least you can always be catch and shoot, right?
Who's better than...
he's a career 44% three-point shooter. Wow. Okay.
You can live with that.
Yep.
And so, for me, I think that's where he's going to be impacted the most is on the defensive end. Because, like I said, because his shot is so pure, he'll still be able to shoot that shot. The quickness, if they're going to drastically impact him that much that he can't get his shot off, I don't see that happening. I really don't.
Okay. So this is why I thought on the fly that Bob Myers, their GM, would say, uh-oh, I need to check signals here, and I need to take LaMelo Ball with the 2nd overall pick. But he said last night, we had James Wiseman #1 on our board. Certainly the Klay thing made you think for a second, but it was a short amount of time. We decided to stay the course. We have always felt that we had to have him, and they have a need.
Right.
James Wiseman is 7'1" with like 7'6" wingspan. And he's athletic.
Yes.
And he's left-handed. And one of their scouts described him as David Robinson meets Chris Bosh.
Right.
Because he can shoot it a little bit.
Right. He's
got a funky motion, too. But he can make some threes. So the point is, he can be such a potential aircraft carrier, a rim defender, and a post presence.
Because when they were at their best, what would they, Skip? They had Bogut. Bogut and Festus Ezeli protected the paint.
That's true.
And so, if he gets that kind of range, if he can get the way he can shoot the ball, like David Robinson mid-range game was great,
sensational,
and Chris Bosh worked his way out the way he could shoot 3, and basically, Skip, that's basically what he was doing for the Heat.
I agree, but all of a sudden, without Klay Thompson, you're looking at Steph and Draymond and Andrew Wiggins, and maybe James Wiseman starts in the post. And then they've got that one trade exception that now comes into play, a $17.2 million. So maybe they can go get somebody else.
Right. Oh yeah, you definitely get. You can get a Serge Ibaka. Okay. They were looking at Dwight Howard.
Okay, maybe. All of a sudden, the heat is on little Steph Curry because can you validate your back-to-back MVPs that a lot of people were a little questionable on? You know, like, are you really that guy?
Yeah, because you could now, Skip, I'm helping off. I ain't worried about nobody shooting no ball.
Yeah.
You couldn't help off Klay. Klay light you up. You couldn't help off Klay because Steph will light you up. Now with one of those guys missing, I can help. I ain't worried about Andrew Wiggins.
Can Steph go solo and become an MVP candidate? Maybe. Well, his clock is ticking. He's going to be 33 in March, so he's getting up there.
Yeah, Skip. He's going to have to. That ain't Steph's game. Could he do it? Sure. But, Skip, that's not his game to shoot 24, 25 shots a game. That's not what he is.
You may be on the hot seat to do just that, to try to, again, with Phoenix getting so much better with CP3, the West is it's just so deep and tough that can you even make the playoffs now without Klay? I think it's a devastating blow.
They might go get Bogdanovich now that he said, I don't want to go to Milwaukee.
Yeah, you know what? From all the reports, I think he did want to go to Milwaukee, but they were in danger of being hit with tampering charges.
Right.
So I think he's just saying, we got to go through the motions of me becoming a restricted free agent to make it look good.
Well, come on, all that. We take him.
No, you're not going to get him. He'll go to Milwaukee by Sunday. Watch, he'll go to Milwaukee.
Well, but what if he wants to go to L.A.?
I don't think he wants to go. He wants to go with the better team, the Bucks.
I can't tell. You want a ring?
Yeah. So back to Golden State. I will never forget this quote, and I'm sure this owner would love to forget it, but I know when I was on First Take, we just went crazy about this quote one day. It was back in March of 2016,
right.
And it was ahead of a disaster that was about to befall the Golden State Warriors at the hands of your Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yep.
Up 3-1, they lost 4 games to 3, obviously, and it was tumultuous for this franchise.
Right.
But Joe Lacob had dinner with a New York Times Magazine writer, and I don't know.
You feeling good about it, you know, you just won the title. Yeah, you got the MVP, back-to-back MVP.
Yeah. So I'm going to read this quote very quickly to you, and this you better be careful. We've crushed everyone on the basketball court, and we're going to for years to come because of the way we've built this team. We're light years ahead of probably every other team in structure, in planning, in how we're going to go about things. We're going to be a handful for the rest of the NBA to deal with for a long time. Okay, there's one leveling agent in this league, and it's called the injury gods, right?
Yeah.
And if they strike, you can be struck dead in your tracks. And all of a sudden, they struck. And they struck last year with Klay and KD during the finals.
Correct.
Into that.
Yep.
And then what happened 5 games into this past season? Steph broke his left hand, and he was gone for the rest of the year. And now you might lose your nuclear component in Klay for 2 full years. And then what's he going to be when he comes back? And you owe him a ton of money.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
it's guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Okay?
Absolutely.
So all of a sudden, your franchise, your empire, your dynasty is teetering because of injuries. They level every playing field, and you can't predict them, and it's very hard. You can't avoid them.
Right.
You can't head them off at the pass. There's really nothing you can do. You just got to get
It's not like it used to be, Skip, because you look at the Lakers, they win the title, and they have the #1 overall pick, and they select James Worthy. So it's not like the Golden State.
Yeah,
I mean, just imagine if Golden State, they winning titles, and they get the #1 overall pick, and whomever, how would that be fair? But because you're at the back of the draft, and you keep getting, the back of the draft, you have an injury like that. How do you overcome it? Everybody's just one injury away. I mean, you lose a significant piece of your puzzle. I don't care how baby, it's over. It's over.
Yep. So they move into this big new arena, and you got to sell new seat licenses, and man.
And you remember, you moved into this big new arena last year, and all your guys are hurt, and so people are like, hold on, we're not used to losing, and now you got no fans.
Yeah.
You're gonna go back into now. I read where they're investing $30 million. They're gonna try to do, these tests and have fans in there. But with Klay, what do y'all not winning those 60 games?
No.
Can they win 50? Can they win? Skip, the West is loaded.
It's just loaded. It's doubtful they can win 50.
And you know that everybody want to punish them after the streak they went on for 5 years.
Yep.
Everybody gearing up to beat the brakes off the Golden State.
Agreed. It's just too bad.
Oh, it's horrible. Oh, I feel so bad for him. And you mentioned it, Shannon, but when you see guys like LeBron tweeting about it, you know this is not a good situation. So we'll just have to wait for an official update. I would like to talk more about the draft and specifically the Ball family, because LaMelo Ball will begin his career in the NBA on the Hornets under the watchful eye of Michael Jordan. LaMelo and Lonzo Ball are the only brothers ever to be drafted in the top 3 picks. Former high school coach of the Ball brothers said that this is no coincidence since LaVar has dedicated his life to developing his sons. LaVar tweeted his excitement, writing, "I told you so, proud of you," with a picture of him celebrating with his family. So, Shannon, how much credit does LaVar deserve here?
Immense credit. I want to give him as much credit as we give Archie and Olivia Manning for Peyton and Eli. I want LaVar and Tina Ball to receive equal credit. Now, you might not like the way he went about it. Maybe he's brash. Maybe he rubbed you the wrong way. But Skip, the guy got 2 sons that were top 3 NBA picks. There have been brothers that play in the NBA. Giannis got about 4 or 5 brothers.
Yep.
They got the Holiday brothers.
Yep.
The first brother, Skip, I didn't know Eugene Short, but I knew Purvis Short. I remember him playing.
Yeah, they were top 10 picks.
One was 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one was 9.
Back in the late 70s.
Yeah. Right. Skip, 2 top 3?
In the top 3. Whew.
Man, he deserves a ton of credit. And I think the thing is, Skip, if people based on whether or not they give you credit, if they like you or not. If we like you, see, we like Archie. I know Archie, been talking to him a long time. First met him in '94 when Peyton was coming out and he was going to Tennessee. And I met his wife on several occasions. People like them, so they give them an immense amount of credit.
Sure.
LaVar, man, all he do is talk. Man, he talk about he could beat Jordan, and he talk about his son's this. And the man got a son that was the number 2 pick, and 4 years later, he got a son that's the number 3 pick. He deserves an immense amount of credit. And I believe that he's devoted his life, that everything that he's done was to make sure his boys had the best opportunity, because whatever you want to be. And he said, what y'all want to do? You play basketball? Okay, we're going to play. We're going to go to the gym. We're going to get these shots up. We're going to get this weights in. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. And we give people, other people, that the parents, we give them the extra umpteen credit. Oh, they drove him to school. They drove him to practice. It's hard for me to see a scenario in which LaVar wasn't at all their games.
Yep.
And it was easy.
And by the way, to your first point, the kids have to want to play.
Yes.
Because remember the Todd Marinovich story in your sport.
Yes.
Where he's just forced by his father to do. And he finally just comes completely apart because he never wanted to do that in the first place. But I believe all 3 sons really loved and wanted to play basketball.
Skip, I had King Griffey Jr. on my podcast, and I was talking to him about, obviously he got 2 sons and a daughter. And he was talking, and he had a lot of similar things that I said, is that, Skip, I never push my kids in any direction. I want you to, because I didn't want you to get to be 25 or 30 and say, well, Dad, I only did this because you wanted me to. I'm not going to push my kids in any direction except the direction that they're going in. Once you choose a path, I'm behind you, pushing you. Because at the end of the day, sports is like this, Skip. You can't want something for your child worse than they want it for themselves.
Yep.
And I believe as much as LaVar wanted it, the kids, Lonzo, LiAngelo, and Melo, wanted it equally as bad. And this is why you get to where they are. So I will give him he deserves the lion's. Look, obviously they got to do it, Skip. But the nurturing and the caring that he poured into these kids and basically gave up what he wanted to do to make sure they got to do what they wanted to do, Skip, he deserves the lion's share of the credit, just like we give other parents that we like credit when their kids are successful.
Mm-hmm. To your point, USA Today wrote, after the 2020 draft, you got to give LaVar props, period, paragraph, like it or not.
Right.
Well, I must admit, I've had a love-hate with LaVar. I love his insight. I love his foresight. He has sat right there numerous times, and things will come out of his mouth that you'll say, what?
Right.
And invariably, he will be correct.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But I still hate what he did to his oldest son when he got to the Lakers.
Right.
He had enough pressure already trying to follow in the footsteps of Magic Johnson and live up to his jersey's going to hang from the rafters, number 2 overall pick, the next Magic. And LaVar said he's already better than Steph Curry. Well, don't do that. He painted the biggest target on that young man's back anyone's ever had coming into this league. And Lonzo had to pay a severe price for it, especially like starting in game 1. Pat Bev's over there pointing at LaVar after the game.
Yeah.
That's for you. I just destroyed your kid, and it's because of you, right? So after a while, I wondered, was it about the kids or was it about the dad? He's always talking about speaking it into existence. He spoke his name into household name existence, like worldwide household. People know him in China. He is a celebrity in China where basketball rules, obviously. And yet, I'm completely with you, and I'm very happy to do this topic today. What he just pulled off is extraordinary because it's unprecedented. What usually happens if you are lucky enough, blessed enough to have one son go high, go in top 5 of the draft, the second son is LiAngelo, who winds up being a decent college player, but not draftable, right?
Yes.
And yet he had a third son who well might be better than the first son.
Yes.
Okay, so I give him credit, and I might even give his wife even more credit. I believe she was the rock. I believe she was the safe harbor for these kids because I think there were times when Dad was driving them a little nuts with all of his self-promotion and big baller brand and all of the above. And obviously Lonzo went through some trying times with Dad, and it feels like, you know, he sort of pulled away and then he came back. And in the end, the kids love their dad. And they always say, in the end, he's our dad. And we still love him. But look at the picture that LaVar posted last night. I told you so is the caption. And it's a dual picture. We can see it again. I think here we go. But it's 2 frames because the left frame is LaVar posing like I told you so.
You got it all folded like, what?
Right. Because that's vintage. That's that guy. That's who he is. I told you so. And then on the other side, he's hugging LaMelo. Okay.
Because all y'all said it wasn't going to happen.
I got it. But he is the ultimate gloater, except maybe short of you. And by the way, speaking of my partner, Shannon Sharp. You realize that you and your older brother came very close to doing something that was unprecedented. If Sterling had not gotten hurt with a spinal injury, is that fair to call it? It's like a neck
injury,
He was on a Hall of Fame arc. I think he was a slam dunk. I think he was on a first ballot arc. Fair to say? Go find 2 brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame because you can't. Nor can you find them in the Baseball Hall of Fame. We can keep on keeping on. The Esposito brothers are in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But then I'm thinking of siblings, and I'm thinking of Venus and Serena. Obviously, that's at the highest level. That's greatness. And
it's a rarity, Skip.
There's Reggie and Cheryl Miller, obviously, at the highest level in men's, women's basketball.
You know, Hank and Tommy Aaron, Walt and Eddie Payton.
But Tommy wasn't that. I'm talking about you could have had 2 Hall of Famers, and yet you didn't have a LaVar pushing you guys. You had great grandparents, but they weren't pushing you. They were just sort of teaching you how life works.
They was pushing us to work on the farm.
Well, okay.
get a job in Steel Rock, Glenville. That's what. So, but that's, so you can certainly appreciate even more what this requires. It's good for me. I'm not saying the way LaVar did it is the only way. That's not the only way to do it, because I believe you can do it like you said, Skip. I went to a lot of games, and there was no one there. My grandmother only saw me play once, and that was my last game in college. So there are a lot of games that I played in high school. In Pop Warner, there was no one there in my family to see me play. I was cool with that. I was just playing, having a good time, and it never really dawned on me. And I saw all the other parents and there. But Skip, it didn't dawn on me like, well, because my family isn't here, they don't love that never dawned on me. I'm just doing what I'm trying to get out of chores. If I'm playing football, that means I ain't got to run hogs and I ain't got to do anything, do yard work. But me and my brother, we sat out on this path a long time ago, and we talk about it when we talk now. It's like, man, Skip, all I want to do is get my grandmother to that situation, the house that lived.
I got it.
Now, for them, like you said, they're upper middle class.
Upper middle.
What's their motivation? What's Peyton and Eli's motivation?
Good question.
The Watts and TJ and JJ Watt, They got another brother. I think he's a fullback now. Derek. What's their motivation? Skip, I'm motivated because my house leak. I got no indoor plumbing. Got no running water.
Okay, I got it. I think Peyton and Eli, who by the way, will become, I think, the first brothers in your Hall of Fame if Eli makes it, and I think he will. I'm not sure he would get my vote, but that's a whole nother issue. But the point is, they were trying to live up to their dad, who was a very good, he was a great college player and a pretty good NFL quarterback.
Yes.
So you're trying to make dad proud. Well, that's motivation.
And he was the second pick. People don't realize Archie was the second pick in the draft.
Yeah. Okay. So, again, that's some motivation. It's not economic motivation. It's just pride, family pride motivation. We want to live up to dad. But in this case, they didn't want to live up to LaVar. But I think LaVar did a great job of making them believe how great they could be.
Correct.
And you can't teach that passing gift that both of them have, Lonzo and LaMelo. But you can nurture it. You can encourage it. You can bless it. You can say, you've got a gift. Now use it. It works if you will get the basketball to people who are open for easy baskets. We can win games.
And I think that's why he's still so hell-bent on having all of his boys play together, because all of them so used to passing. They know Lonzo gets the ball, everybody runs the lane. Somebody gets the ball, you just take off running. We're going to find you.
So this will never happen, but he sat right here a couple of years ago and he said that his goal was to get all three of his sons, speaking of sons, to Phoenix, as in S-O-N-S, sons. And his dream was to coach his sons in the NBA. Well, listen, you can laugh all you want, but I believe he would have made that work. It's never going to happen. But if you gave him the reins and you said, you coach your three sons and we'll add pieces around them, who knows who would be? I don't even know if Devin Booker would be there, but whatever. I believe he could develop a playoff team in Phoenix with his three sons, because you're right, that they just feed off each other. And the two sons have potential greatness.
He did it. Like it or not, he did it.
Like it or not.
He did that. And like it, Skip, a lot of times, the father, because of the sports, gets a lot of the credit. But like you said, I think the wife, Tina, she deserves a lot of the credit because she's an athlete in her own right. And so I think she deserves a lot of the credit also, because she has to hold it down too.
So in the end, remember, he made one statement. He made a lot of statements on this show, but remember, he just blurts out one day, oh, Magic's just the figurehead on the Lakers now. And that's when we thought Magic ran the Lakers. He's just the figurehead? And a couple of months pass, and all of a sudden, Magic gets pushed out the back door. Well, my point is, beware when he speaks. You can laugh all you want, but there's a lot of truth that gets validated in what he says.
When it's all said and done, it is. And he got validated.
He got validated. So, gloat. It's your day.
You got any more kids, LaVar? That's what the people used to ask my mom. You got any more boys? Like, if I knew these two were going to be in the NFL, I'd have about 4 or 5. I said, Mom, it don't work like that, though.
No mercy.
Thursday night is monster. It's huge. You win, your team owns the tiebreaker against Seattle in the NFC West, but your last matchup with them this year, they didn't even hit you once.
I don't really pay attention to those numbers because I know the type of guys they have over there. I know the guy I played against them. They have great players. So for us to, go out there in Seattle and try to get a win is going to be tough, but we got the guys to do it.
Kyler sounds pretty confident, Skip. You have been a supporter of Kyler since the beginning, and I agree with you. How excited are you to watch this?
I'm excited, Mr. Sharp, because my lone frustration, as Jenny knows, with Kyler when he played for my Oklahoma Sooners was he was so guarded in what he had to say to the media. He protected. And as he begins to grow in the NFL, especially this year, he's starting to come out of that shell and show what he's actually all about. And I think this will really show him.
He's still guarded. He gets it. He understands that I'm a quarterback and everything I say is going to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. He gets it. He sees how Brady, he sees how these other quarterbacks have. You don't last 20-plus years, Skip, with no Skip, without being guarded.
Just a little bit of that. But you're right. I just like to hear a little bit more from Kyler. And Aaron always does such a good job with those interviews. It'll be a great one. That is on Fox tonight, 7:30 Eastern. And let's talk a little bit more about Kyler, guys, he's been on a tear recently, vaulting himself into the MVP discussion, while Russell Wilson, who seemed to be running away with MVP honors earlier this season, has basically dropped out of the race for the time being right now. Shannon, do you see Kyler becoming better than Russ?
Well, Skip, Kyler is very, very special, and I believe he's going to be special. And they've done a great job. They've done him a great service. They got him DeAndre Hopkins. Because you remember, Skip, for the first 7 years that he was that Russ was in Seattle, he didn't have that level of receiver. It wasn't until they got him DK Metcalf, they got him Tyler Lockett, that he got weapons, because basically we're going to run the football, Russ, and we're going to play defense with the Legion of Boom. Well, as they started tearing the Legion of Boom apart, they started like, well, hold on. We don't have that same level of defense, so we're going to have to score a little more. We just can't play, score 20 points and hope our defense shuts you out. So they started getting him weapons, and Russ started being Russ that we see right now, Skip. He, in 9 years, Russ has 92 wins, so that's a little over 10 wins a season.
And by the way, that's second best over that period to Tom Brady.
Russ has 255 touchdowns, 87 interceptions. Just for a little context, I know a guy that's been in the league 16 years, Jenny. I won't call his name. He has 390 touchdowns and 87 interceptions in 16 seasons. I won't call his name, but you know who that is. But anyway.
I don't know.
You do know. Oh, Goat Rodgers.
Oh, Goat Rodgers.
Goat Rodgers.
Goat Rodgers.
You're saying he's better than Brady?
No,
now you've really lost your mind.
Skip, look. You can be good for one season. Can he be good for as many seasons as Russ has been good? Because Russ has been good for a lot of years, Skip. And I think he's going, because, like I said, it's kind of like when you played in the Jordan era. You played in the Jordan era, basically your career got swept up under the rug because he was so dominating. So you played in the Brady, you played in the Manning era. They're like, but you look at Russ, they're like, hold on. He did this up in Seattle? He's second behind Brady? More than Breeze? More than Rodgers? More than Big Ben? Huh? And it gets you like, damn, Russ been good. 30-game winning drives. Who do I trust more? It's not that the player that I trust more, whose organization do I trust more? I'm going to stick with Russ. I'm going to stay with Russ. I love Kyler. Kyler can make plays. He can throw the ball, because I think it's guys like Russ that made it possible for Kyler, because Skip, small guys that run around, make plays with their legs.
I agree.
They get down. Baseball background.
Yep.
Now, obviously, Russ wasn't the player in baseball that Kyler is.
No, but he was
pretty good.
Yeah.
Skip, Kyler was a top 10 draft pick, and he was the #1 overall pick.
Yep.
So I'm gonna stick with Russ, and it goes to show you, but it just lets you know, Skip, what they think of Kyler. He's the #1 overall draft pick. So it ain't like, what we're getting for Russ, a third-round pick, we're like, okay, anything. We expected Kyler to be this, because you take a guy with the #1 overall pick, Skip, he's the face of your franchise, and you expect him to win MVPs and get you to Super Bowl. Russ is like, Skip, they paid Matt Flynn, a ton of money to come from Green Bay. And he didn't take a snap as the starter. Russ beat the guy out in training camp.
He did.
So I'm going to stick with Russ for the time being. But, man, like you said, Kyler growing on me. He like bacteria, you growing on me, Skip.
So you have seen the light.
I see it. I mean, it's flickering. Like you tell me, it's flickering, Skip. I got to get my eyes adjusted. You know how it's dark, and then he cut the light on, and you like your eyes got to focus and get. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Okay. So, to your point, as much as I have loved Kyler from the start of his first games at the University of Oklahoma, as much as I loved his rookie year, because he plays the best against the best, and I expect him tonight to take it way up. And we're going to talk more about the game a little bit here in a little bit on the show, but I expect him to outplay Russell Wilson tonight. But it's dangerous right now to fall into the prisoner of the moment trap, because right now Kyler just pulled off the Hail Mary.
Right.
Didn't play great in the game, but made one throw of throws and a catch of catches. Stole one out from under the Buffalo Bills, who had played well enough to win the game up to that point, that moment, that last second. And yet, as you know, Russell Wilson got off to a rip-roaring start this year and was running away with the MVP. He had 17 touchdowns to 3 interceptions through 4 games. And all I heard from across the table was, Russ is just, he's killing it, right?
He was, yep.
Okay. And then all of a sudden, he had a 4-game skid in which he has led the NFL in turnovers. So you got to be careful because right now, he is in the all-time skunk funk, right?
Yeah. He's in a rut as far as turning the ball over.
By his standards, back to your point of he's 92, 44, and 1 as a starter. Well, they still have a chance to pull out of this tailspin and still be a factor to get to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Well, I'm going to remind everybody going into this year that the players voted on that top 100 on NFL, obviously, network and .com. And remember, he finished second to Lamar, but it was close. And a lot of people were making the case that Russell had become the best quarterback in pro football. So I'm not going to forget that, nor am I going to forget that he went head-to-head, Russell did, with Peyton Manning. And I know he had the Legion of Boom backing him up, but it was, 43-8?
43-8, yep. New York Super Bowl.
And he had a QBR in that game, scale 0 to 100, of 88. And then he turned right around and played Brady head-to-head and easily could have, you can say, should have beaten him.
Yeah.
And he had a QBR of 93 in that Super Bowl. So his QBR in 2 Super Bowls is above 90, which is outrageously great.
It is.
It's Hall of Fame performance.
Had he won that Super Bowl, Skip, and somebody asked you, well, is Kyler going to be better in the Russ? You like, hell no, Russ got 2 Super Bowls.
That's what I'm saying. So he definitely has 2 Super Bowl appearances and 2 high-level performances.
Correct.
So for me, as much as I love Kyler, if you told me he could eclipse this career that Russell's had, I'd say, well, number one, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Because Russell's going to be in the Hall of Fame, I'm pretty sure, right?
And Skip, you said he's going to eclipse that. That means he's going to probably get to multiple Super Bowls, probably win. He's going to be an MVP. That's
So as I compare the two, do I think I love Kyler's arm and I love his lightning release, but do I think it's a better arm than Russ's? I do not. Because Russell's got big arm.
Russ?
Hey, is there a better deep ball thrower than Russell Wilson?
Nope.
Okay. And I know he's starting to tail off in his ability to rush the football and to make defenses pay for playing man all over the field and running with his receivers. But listen, has there ever been a more devastating runner at quarterback than Russell Wilson has been as a scrambler and a runner?
And the thing is, Skip, is that because he had that ability, he was never looking to run.
No.
He was always looking to run to throw the ball down the field. That got him in trouble because he had a play on Sunday, Skip. If he just keep running, he going to get the first down easy, maybe score.
Look like it.
But he pulls up because he's always thinking, oh, I know what that guy's supposed to be. He wasn't there, and he got him in trouble. And this is the worst patch I've seen Russ play as far as turning the ball over, Skip. I mean, it started in Arizona. Remember, Skip, he had that 3 turnover game?
One in overtime.
Yeah,
cost
and it just snowballed on him.
So in that one big year he had in 2014, the year they lost to Brady in the Super Bowl, last second play, he ran the ball for 849 yards and scored 6 rushing touchdowns. So Kyler this year is having a breakout running season. He's up to 604 yards. Will he eclipse 849? Probably. Yeah. Probably by a lot.
He might go over 1,000.
He might go over 1,000.
Now I don't know. He needs 7 games. Can he catch Lamar's record of over 1,200? He might, Skip.
He might. He's got electric feet, and he has the ability to stay out of harm's way.
Yes.
I'm going to knock on wood for him because it just takes one wrong move and wrong turn. But he demonstrated it all those games at Oklahoma, the big Texas games. He knows how to slide because he played baseball.
Right.
And he also has the right clock in his head. He knows when it's time to give the play up. Well, Russell is stoutly built, and he's taken a lot of punishment.
Right.
Now he's starting to ease back on his ability. Like you said, he had the avenue.
You're right.
And this time he says, no, I got to give it up.
Right.
I don't want to risk it.
Right.
Because I think he's taken a lot of punishment. Well, he's now 32, coming up on December 29th, I think it is. So he's getting toward 32. So he's starting to get up there. So the answer to Jenny's question is, I hope Kyler has a better career. I'm a huge fan of his, but would I bet on it right now? No, I would not. If he could even equal the career of Russell Wilson, that would be all-time great. That's Hall of Fame. We're looking at a Hall of Fame performance.
The thing that they did for him is that Bill O'Brien helped him, is that they gave him a weapon. DeAndre Hopkins is second in the league in receiving. That's something, and he got, because Larry's on the tail end of his career. But they gave him Christian Kirk. They gave him some weapons. And Skip, what the people don't realize, Arizona can run the ball.
Ask the Cowboys.
So now you can run the ball. Now that zone read, you see Kyler Murray pretend like he gave the ball to the guy, and there's this. He still got the ball. And now they're scrambling trying to catch him, and he's in the end zone tossing the ball to the official.
Yep. After a little hop, skip, and jump.
That's his thing. So it's going to be the NFC West is going to be good for a long time because Russ is not going anywhere. Skip, he's 32, but he's in great shape. He hadn't missed any games. Jared Goff's in that division. Kyler's in that division, and if San Francisco can ever get a quarterback that can stay healthy and can play consistently,
that is true. Okay, so back to your first point. Which of these two quarterbacks will have the better organization to back them up? Well, I think it's routinely going to be the Seahawks.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a big advantage for Russell even going forward. I believe Kyler, as long as Cliff Kingsbury stays afloat there, I don't know how long that's going to last, he will put up better numbers, I think, than Russell will, just because of the offense is so geared around. It's built for him, by him, actually. And, defensively, do you trust Cliff to keep running out a top 10 unit? Probably not.
Well, as long as Vance Joseph is going to be there, I mean, maybe Vance gets another opportunity at a head coaching job.
Maybe.
But I think he's done a great job considering his best defensive player, Chandler Jones, is not there. So just imagine if they could get that pressure to that guy and the defenses that you could run if you had Chandler Jones.
Gotcha.
No mercy.
LaMelo Ball said he was born to be the #1 pick in last night's NBA draft, and now he might have a chip on his shoulder. LaMelo fell behind Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman. Michael Jordan reportedly gave the Hornets his stamp of approval for the youngest Ball brother, and the team ran with it, selecting him 3rd overall. Fox Sports NBA analyst Chris Broussard joining us now. Chris, are LaMelo and MJ a good match?
Well, they're certainly a better match than LaVar and MJ, so that's a plus. Look, Michael Jordan really liked LaMelo. He may like LaMelo as much or more than anybody else in the organization, so he's going to be invested in Melo's success. He knows that they need major star power. They were 28th out of 30 teams in attendance last year before COVID hit, and fans will be back at some point. So they need somebody with some star power. But you guys, both Skip and Shannon, you know Michael Jordan as well as I know him too. And we know that he is going to challenge LaMelo. He's going to push him to see what he's made of. And if Melo's tough enough to handle it, I think it could help him become the player that we all think he can, because he's got great potential, but he's also got a ton to work on, He's got to be more engaged defensively, even just as an off-ball defender, getting his rotations right, staying alert. He's obviously got to work on his shot. He shot 25% from three-point range in Australia, so he's got to work on that. But he's not only going to be challenged by Jordan. The two best players on the Hornets are point guards. Now, they may make some trades because obviously they want LaMelo to be the man, but Devontae Graham, who was one of the most improved players in the league last year, averaged 18 and 7, played 4 years at Kansas, so there's a lot of substance to him. He's going to challenge LaMelo. Terry Rozier, now he may get traded, but we know he didn't defer to Kyrie. So you know he's not about to defer to an 18-year-old kid with 5.5 million Instagram followers. So they are going to go at Melo, and one of the questions some people have about him is he's always been in tailor-made situations. So at Chino Hills, we saw him. They played cherry-picking ball. Everything was, they didn't play defense. They cherry-picked and all that stuff. He played exhibition games in Lithuania. His high school, Spear High School in Ohio, was based around him. In Australia, the league paid him and made sure he started on his team. So how much has he really had to fight to earn things on the basketball court? I think he's going to have to fight in Charlotte. And again, if he's made of the right stuff, it'll help him become a better player and maybe reach his potential. If he's not, it could be tough for him and tough for the Hornets. So, look, I want the kid to succeed, so I'm going to say that he's got it in him to take what MJ and the Hornets dish at him, and he'll be a better player for it.
I just want you to know that I'm taking LaVar in the +5 against Jordan in the one-on-one head battle. That's all I want you to know right there, because I got LaVar. LaVar 255, 260, backing him down in the post. He already told you when he was young, Jordan couldn't stand up to him. So I know Jordan now, after like 4 of those brown liquor shots and the cigars that Skip hate, win ain't too good. So I'm taking LaVar in the +5. I agree with you. I agree, Chris. I think this is a tailor-made. I think it's really good. It's not like Jordan's going to be there day to day. Jordan is not the head coach. But like you said, Jordan ain't have no problem coming down. You say a little funny thing, bro, you're not that good. I wish I was playing now, because I'd have gave it to you. That's how Jordan wants to see where you are mentally. Now, Jordan get in shape and maybe go one-on-one. I don't think Jordan, I don't think he's there anymore. But how can it not succeed? And I agree with you. I agree with you on this. They need star power, Skip. And LaMelo is just one piece of that puzzle. But they need to hit on a guy, and hopefully LaMelo is the guy, and keep him. That's what they got to do. They got to get they got to get a Giannis. Maybe if they can land on a Giannis, Skip, and get it, maybe Melo can be the Giannis.
Yeah.
Because Milwaukee, if Milwaukee told you they knew Giannis was going to turn into Giannis, they'd be lying. Because if they did something, they'd have moved up to the #1 spot and taken it. But
15th, right?
Exactly. But I like the pick. You knew everybody said it was top 3 guys and then everybody else after that. So we knew one of these guys, Melo, was going no worse than 3rd. Some people had him projected to go #1 overall to the Minnesota. That didn't happen. I think he landed in a good spot. Like you said, they got 2 point guards. One of them's going to have to go. Somebody's got to go, Skip. That's just the way it is, to make room for this kid. And I think I think he's made of the right stuff. His dad has instilled in him. He's made of the right stuff. I think he's going to come out with flying colors, and I think he's going to be a very good player for the Hornets.
So, Chris, for me, this was a match made in hoop heaven, because these two needed each other. Let's start with Michael. No bigger fan on the planet than me of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. But as a GM, he went from being the GOAT player to the worst GM in the history of basketball. And I can't sugarcoat it, because he has overseen the Charlotte basketball operation for 15 years, and they made the playoffs in the Eastern Conference 3 times and lost all 3 first-round series. Got swept twice. It's just all-time embarrassing and humiliating for Michael, and he needed a sideshow. He needed a gate attraction. He needed a draw, and he got Ball in the family. And this kid, to me, as I said yesterday before the draft, he's by far the most gifted player in this very average to below average draft. He has potential greatness, but I'm not sure about his mental toughness that Shannon says MJ is about to test. I don't think you can teach killer will, but maybe you could antagonize it out of somebody a little bit. Maybe you can fire test it out of somebody. And he's about to get fire tested. He's going to get his baptism by MJ fire. And I love it that he's going to go from LaVar as his father figure to Michael as his father figure. Michael will take him under his wing. He will mentor him, but it'll be tough love. And he will get the greatest that there is out of this kid, because Michael is attracted just to greatness. When he sees it, he knows it. And this kid has Lonzo's passing gift, and he has creativity that I haven't seen on the low level, the 18-year-old level, since Pete Maravich. I'm talking about just creating shots, just making them up on the fly, trying this. You got to give him the greenest light in the world and let him operate.
Now, I don't know if he's going to be getting that Steph Curry, Klay Thompson type lights.
No, I got it, but it's different. It's like he's making up shots and passes on the fly, where you say, where did that come from? Some of them work, some of them don't.
Right.
He is an unbridled, unfocused, unmade talent right now. And I think Jordan will be the perfect spot for him to try to figure it out on the fly very quickly. And Chris, all I know is next year, I can't believe I'm saying this, but for me, Charlotte is must-see TV. I will be watching LaMelo. I don't care who's playing around him, and I agree with you. How does Devontae Graham, how does Rozier? I don't know how it fits, and I don't care because at least they're relevant now as far as watchability, right?
I think the biggest thing that helps LaMelo is Lonzo. The biggest thing that helped me was I had a brother that was already in the league, told me what I needed to do. Shannon, you need to make sure you get the ice bath, and you need to do this and X, Y, and Z, and you study tape. Now, the ice bath, I was like, man, I feel good. I'm 22 years old. I don't need all that stuff. And then you're like, okay, I should have listened to him a little earlier, but I'm going to listen to him now. So he can teach LaMelo, okay, LaMelo, you're here. Hey, make sure you get the ice on your knees, get your feet in the ice tub because, hey, you on the plane and you go into the next city that same night. You got to, after shoot around, go get that nap in. So, because you're going to be playing at night. No more day games, buddy. You play it at night.
And big brother does play defense, and little brother plays none.
No. I don't know if you can teach him that.
Right.
That's about want to. That's about desire.
Look, it might help him that Lonzo's kind of struggled. You know, because Lonzo, everybody thought, I mean, heck, Magic said his jersey was going to be in the rafters, in the rafters up in Staples Center. And obviously he hasn't lived up to that potential. So maybe that will help LaMelo see that, look, this is not going to be easy.
No.
And I hear you, Skip, because I want to see LaMelo play just as much as anybody else. But I think it would be wise, and I don't know if it's even kind of possible today. You know, it's a different sports landscape. But they should not rush him into the spotlight. Like, if he's not ready yet, then I think the best thing would be to make him, you know, not play him as much and make him earn that spot rather than learn in the fire. Look, we saw it. I know it was a while ago, but Kobe Bryant averaged 7 points as a rookie. You know, this kid's essentially kind of come out of high school. And most guys, other than LeBron James, didn't come out into the league and play a lot right away and do big things right away. So that wouldn't be the worst thing for him, but I don't know. Charlotte, I know they want to get him out there on the court right away. He obviously wants to play right away. I hope that's not a mistake by just handing him the keys and letting him go from day one.
Well, he's going to have to, you know, the thing is, Skip, is that when you're this and everybody knew about LaMelo Ball before he got to the NBA. He's going to get everybody's best and brightest every single night.
Yep, I agree. But one thing about these Ball kids, they're not afraid. They're not intimidated. They've been in the fishbowl since they were like 12, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I think he can stand up to whatever the NBA is going to dish out on him.
It's just because think about what Lonzo got with Pat Bell. And that was Skip, that was just 1 year of LaVar. They've had another 3-4 years of LaVar talking about Melo, so you know they coming.
I'm looking forward to watching it, but I hope LaMelo just soaks in all things
I like his potential more than Lonzo's.
Do you?
You guys there too? I like his potential more than Lonzo.
Well, and I think LaVar really had been saying that to us from the very beginning. So it's going to be fun to see where he begins and his journey. It starts now, just really a month away from the season. Chris, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll check in with you very soon.
No mercy.
Start Saturday strong with the Big Noon Kickoff Show live from Columbus at 10 a.m. Eastern, followed by Big Noon Saturday, where Indiana looks to continue their incredible season against Heisman contender Justin Fields and number 3 Ohio State. That is where I'll be this weekend, and this is a great game. It is all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Looking forward to it. Well, despite being 2-7, the Cowboys are still very much in the race to win the NFC East and make the playoffs ahead of their matchup against the Vikings. DeMarcus Lawrence is confident his defense will step up after playing the Steelers close. The two-time Pro Bowl defensive end said, quote, "We're playing totally different. Energy is totally different, and this will not be a repeat of the Browns game." Dallas gave up 49 points to the Browns earlier this season, but held the Steelers to only 24 in their last game. So, Shannon, do you like what he said?
No, Skip, I needed him to differentiate what's not going to happen. So you're not going to give up 300 yards or the 40-plus points.
I think he's talking about 307.
Okay, so what about Arizona? You gave up 260. You gave up 261 to Arizona and 38 points.
Yep.
Okay, what about Washington? You gave up 208 and 25 points. So you might repeat those, but you ain't gonna repeat Cleveland. You called L's in all of them.
Yeah, but you called hell against Cleveland because it was 307. You gave up 3 bills.
Well, if Arizona hadn't called the dogs off you, you'd have gave up 400 against them. You remember it was 38-0, like midway through the third quarter.
I mean, Kyler could have run for 200 himself.
Exactly.
Right?
Skip, look. The thing is that when you play Minnesota, is that you're going to have to play your keys for the entirety of the game. Because if you think they're going to be deterred by not running the football because you stopped them in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter,
Agreed.
you're sadly mistaken.
Yep.
And Chicago.
Well,
Dalvin Cook had 30 rush attempts, Skip. He only had 96 yards. But it just shows they are committed to running the football.
that's only 3.2 yards per try.
But guess what? That play action was wide open because you got to sell out to stop it. So the question is, Cowboys, are you willing to sell out to stop the run and make yourself vulnerable because they're going to run the boot on you? Because we want to minimize Kurt, Skip. So the thing is, if I'm the Cowboys, I'm saying, you know what? I want the ball in your hands. Just like Pat Peterson said, I want Andy Dalton to beat us. You got to say, I want First Cousins to beat us. Because if you let them run the football, you're not beating them. Because I want to minimize. Cool wants to minimize Kirk Cousins' involvement in winning ball games. So we're going to run the boot, Skip. So we're going to take the flat. We're going to take the over to the comeback.
Off play action.
Off play.
Yeah.
So what you going to do? We're not going to have a repeat. Bro, y'all won 2 games. You should repeat. So what about those other 7, Skip? That's only 1. So what about them other 6? You going to have a repeat of those? Come on, D-Law, bro. Y'all need to get y'all act together. That's what you need to do. You need Jesus in your life. Y'all need help. So whatever y'all got going on, whatever's not going to happen, you're playing, we're going to give this defense, I heard, Skip, we're going to give this defense a chance. We got rid of all those malcontents. We got those bad apples out of there.
Yep.
You still catch your nails. And you're going to catch one on Sunday, too.
Should have beaten the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, you should not have.
Not lost a single game.
Hold on, what you mean y'all should have lost a single game?
The Pittsburgh Steelers have not lost.
Oh, yeah.
And they should have lost one at Jerry World 2 Sundays ago.
It'd have been so disappointing that y'all have hung a loss on them.
I must say, I loved what D-Law said. And I've learned to love what he might say before a very tough game, because remember what happened near the end of the 2018 season when Drew Brees visited on a Thursday night at Jerry World? And D-Law laid down the law about Drew Brees before the game started. He ain't coming into our house and doing Drew Brees things, right?
Yeah.
They shut him down.
They did.
And then they went into the playoff game against the #1 rush attack in pro football from Seattle, and they shut it down. You remember that?
I remember that. Y'all got lucky.
And what was happening at that point, we had a new dynamic duo at linebacker. We had Jalen Smith and we had Leighton Vander Esch because they could run sideline to sideline. Now, they proceeded to get run off the field out here in Southern California
exactly.
at the Coliseum.
So what happened to that
I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know.
73.
But in the first half, they gave up 200. So I don't know what happened. Little C.J.
Anderson.
Happened. Okay. But the point is, my team is actually trending in the right direction here, because after 261 that you talked about on Monday night to Arizona, it went down to 208 at Washington. So that's improvement.
They went down 6
then it
yards.
went way down to 119 at Philadelphia. That's showing some signs of life.
Yeah.
And then it went all the way down to only 46 yards from the Pittsburgh Steelers at Jerry World in a game my team should have won, and it got stolen from them by 3 calls in the second half by the referee.
Skip, you do realize Pittsburgh is one of the worst rushing teams in all of football.
They rank 24th, but it's progress. It's a start. It is a start. And I am here to tell you that the biggest difference is that the dynamic duo of 2018 has now become the dynamic uno, as in one, as in Wolf Hunter, as in Leighton Vander Esch has come back for those games.
Yes.
And they're trending up, actually going north here in holding teams down, because Leighton Vander Esch is really, really good. I underestimated the impact of his loss. Remember, he broke his collarbone.
Yep.
It was the first game of the year.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they go south.
Yep.
Okay? What do you see in Jalen Smith? You see sort of chicken with his head cut off, running all over the field, like wrong place, wrong time. Every time I looked up against Pittsburgh, Leighton Vander Esch was in some hole stopping somebody. So I trust this defense a lot more because Jerry did something that I did not see coming. He cut all 8 of the free agents. He got rid of all 8 of the free agents, some by trade, but that he signed in the offseason to bolster the defense, to bring experience and some credibility to the defense. They mutinied on Mike Nolan. So Jerry said, I'm siding with Mike Nolan. And he got rid of every one of them. I did not agree with that. I thought Mike Nolan was the problem. But at least the players who are left are buying into Mike Nolan now, and they're actually trying, in the spirit of how the defense needs to be run, they're trying to do it the way he wants it done.
The last 2 weeks, D-Law has shown he's the best player on the defense.
I agree.
So I like the way he's been playing. Now, he's trending up. I don't like what he said. Oh, what happened in Cleveland won't happen again. Bro, y'all gave up 260 and 204 against 2 teams after that.
Yep, okay, you got me. But I saw signs of life. Even Pittsburgh ranked 24th in rushing. If you hold him to 46 yards, that's saying something.
Well, hold Minnesota to 46.
Okay, well, you can't. He's the leading rusher.
Okay,
he averaged 119 a game.
Yep.
Okay, but I look back at his game log and I say, well, wait a second. You just pointed out the Bears held him to 96 on 30 carries. And then in game number 1, the Packers held him to 50, and then they got run off the field in Lambeau. But the Colts held him at Colts to 63, and at Seattle they held him to 65. So he's human. You can at least curtail it where you can stay on the field. And I expect that I don't think he's going to go for 200 yards against them.
No, but here's the thing, Skip, is that what they have is that rookie receiver, Jefferson. Skip, he's phenomenal.
Stud.
And they got Adam Thielen, who's better than you think. And every time you look around, they underestimated. You look at it, he got the ball in the end zone.
I got it.
And so you got your work cut out for him.
Okay.
And Kyle Rudolph, he still make plays. Hey, he's not the swiftest guy, but he still can make plays.
And yet, Nick Foles had a horrible night on Monday night, and yet he made one throw that should have been caught. I thought it would have been a really good catch, but it should have been caught. And if he makes the catch, we're having a different conversation. They would have won the game on one Magic Man throw at the end of the game.
Skip, I keep telling you, you keep having hopes.
And the ESPN broadcasters, they all agreed that ball should have been caught.
Which one? The one he threw behind the guy?
No, he threw it over his head. It's right there. Anthony Miller should have just sold out.
He did.
Yeah, he did not.
Skip.
That's for the game. That's 4th and whatever it was. Well, go look at it.
I saw it.
Okay, well, I'm just saying it came to that for the Vikings to survive at Soldier Field. I know it's a black and blue division game. It's a tough game.
Yes.
And they were knocking each other crazy. You know, it's very physical. But now you're coming off a very physical game against a patsy Dallas Cowboy team. I don't know. Would I bet on 7? They get 7.
Weren't y'all on the bye? Y'all came off the bye. Y'all should be fresh, chomping at the bit.
We got pep in our step. That's what my coach said. Pep in our step.
Really?
And it's because they know they're only a game back in the win column in the worst division in the history of football.
But y'all not playing the best. The Giants are playing the actual team that's playing the best are the Giants.
I will give you that. We beat the Giants thanks to Andy Dalton, who is back.
But y'all lost to the team that's trending downward, the Eagles and the Washington football team.
Okay. Well, now we get all 3 of them one more time, and 2 of them are at Jerry World. So I'd say we're in the catbird seat.
No, you're not in no catbird seat.
We don't have to win this game Sunday, and I doubt we will. I wouldn't bet a penny on it. I wouldn't bet a drop a do on it.
First of all, y'all let them have bucket seats in your car. You got a bench seat, and they hadn't made bench seats in cars. And you remember when we were in the 70s, 80s, they had the bench seat, no bucket seat. Y'all on a bench seat. So it's crowded in that Bull Jive division, but y'all not playing the best, and y'all not gonna win that division. I know you're getting your hopes up because what you think? Oh, my coach say we got a pep in our step. Whatever.
Pep in your step.
You ain't got no pep.
A Minnesota thing to say. That's why it makes me laugh every time because that's definitely what my parents would have said growing up.
Dalvin Cook, do you think he'll go for 200?
Nah.
Okay, I'll bet you 5 cases he doesn't go for 200 yards.
Skip, bet me 5 cases y'all don't win.
Okay, look what happens. My defense gave up 307, 261, and 208.
Yeah.
And you won't give Dalvin Cook 200 yards?
Nah, he don't need 200. He gonna get like $115 though.
We used to own Kirk Cousins, but not.
Yeah, what happened?
Yeah, you know.
He got a better team and that first Cousins on you. Y'all ain't beat him since.
Dak was 4-0 against Kirk Cousins.
Until when?
I used to love to play Kirk Cousins, but not anymore.
Didn't he just beat Dak last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, not anymore, Skip. Are you sure you don't want to bet with me about this one straight up, Skip?
I might.
Okay.
By Friday, I just might.
No, you're not.
I'm starting to rebuild
right.
my confidence over here.
Skip didn't want to get together with me to watch the game.
We're talking big and bad over here.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Right.
During the game. Guys, don't forget, Terry Bradshaw is putting $1 million up for grabs in this week's free-to-play Super 6 contest. All you have to do, correctly predict the outcome of 6 NFL games. So get your picks in before kickoff Sunday for your chance to be a millionaire. And for top stories, scores, and more, go to the Fox Sports app.
No mercy.
LaMelo is now the second Ball brother to be drafted in the top 3 after Lonzo went 2nd overall in 2017. LaVar always said LaMelo would be the best of the brothers, and last night he was drafted 3rd overall by the Michael Jordan's Charlotte Hornets. How about that, guys? So, Shannon, will LaMelo's presence in the NBA help or hurt his brother Lonzo?
Will have no impact on him because he can't score any points. I don't understand. It's like my presence in the NFL didn't hurt or harm Sterling Sharp's performance in the NFL. His presence in the NFL didn't help or harm me. It helped me in a sense, Skip. He can tell me the day-to-day things. Okay, Shannon, look, you're going to be a rookie. So you need to get there and get taped, get out of the way for the vets early. You got a little nick or something, just grab some ice. You don't got to report everything because you don't want them to think that you're injury prone. So if it's something that you don't really need, just grab you some ice and tend to it yourself. Things of that nature. But me being in the NFL, my brother had already established his career. Lonzo is already, established. Now, is he the player that a lot of people thought he was going to be at this point in time? No. But just because Melo comes to the NBA doesn't mean he's still not going to even get better. At the end of the day, Skip, LaMelo can't score, can't defend, can't do anything for Lonzo. Lonzo can't do anything for LaMelo except give him advice. But his game, what does LaMelo having to do there have to do? How does it impact Lonzo? So, no, I don't see that, Skip. You basically just tell him how to go about his business, how to be professional. You're a professional now. You need to act professional now. Treat this as a profession. This is your job. This ain't no more fun, Skip. Hey, you pay mortgages. You're going to have kids one day. You're going to pay college tuition and kids' tuition with this. This is how he has to be treated now. So, for me, no, I don't think it's going to hurt or help Lonzo's career.
I think it's going to hugely help Lonzo Ball. Lonzo has had the brightest, hottest spotlight on him from the start, thanks mostly to his father and all the hype and all the buildup. And it's been very difficult for him to live up to that spotlight. I don't think Lonzo is very comfortable in the spotlight because he's very quiet-spoken and gets very anxious when the attention is all on him. The youngest seems to enjoy the spotlight more. He seems to soak it up. And all of a sudden, the NBA spotlight on opening whatever night that is, December 22nd, much of it is going to be in Charlotte on this kid because most people believe he can be better, will be better than Lonzo.
Well, first of all, Skip, they're not playing opening night. That's reserved for us, champions. Yeah, this is, like the Masters, they have a champions dinner for all the previous winners get to come. So opening night is reserved for us. We should be the only team, except the victims that we're going to play, we should be the only team that are playing December 22nd. Well, nobody else.
I just hope that your opening night, quote-unquote, victim happens to be the Clippers, who took you apart on opening night last year. And in the fourth quarter of that opening night game at Staples, your house, LeBron James managed to score 2 in the fourth quarter, and Anthony Davis got 0 points in the fourth quarter.
Like your guy.
And we won thanks to Kawhi Leonard taking over the game late.
So would you rather have that happen in the opening night, or would you rather have it happen in a Game 7? Because one guy scored 0 points and the other guy scored 2 in a Game 7. First of all, Skip, better see what you do. This is why we're not going to play the Clippers. because sometimes the only time a person's name gets mentioned if he says something negative about somebody that's good. So the only time y'all want to get talked about is if you're playing us. So we're not going to play you guys because you're not going to try to get some of our shine because the light's going to be on us. Because it's so bright, y'all might get a little glimmer. That won't happen.
We were the betting favorite going into the playoffs, so we deserve to be your quote-unquote victims on opening night so we can spoil your ring ceremony, which we will.
First of all, I don't care. You was also the losing favorite, too. Lost 3 straight after being up by double digits. How did that make you feel?
All I feel right now is I feel relief for Lonzo Ball because he had a great stretch going right into COVID when we didn't know whether it was going to hit or not. We had no idea. We didn't see the pandemic coming, but he went 5 games. He averaged 21, 8, and 8 and shot 52% from the three-point line.
What about this, Skip? What about not being in L.A., not having the expectations of playing alongside LeBron James, going into the playoffs and being a championship caliber team? What about that? What about being removed from that? Playing in New Orleans. Yeah, you got Zion, but the expectation is not championship playing alongside Zion, at least in his rookie season.
Okay, but he got so much help from LeBron in Lonzo's rookie year that LeBron James went 28 and 27 as a starter that year, and they missed the playoffs. Wow. Good job, LeBron.
And what happened?
We had a lowlights tape. We had a blooper reel of LeBron.
And guess what? I'm already putting together, me and my team, putting together a highlight reel. Dunks on people, big shots.
So I said earlier in the show that LaMelo and MJ are a match made in hoop heaven.
Right.
And also, we've now got Lonzo and Zion as a match made in hoop heaven. Because what does Lonzo do best? Besides playing defense, he can throw the lob.
Yeah.
He can throw full court lobs. He can throw baseball passes for touchdowns to Zion, who can run the floor the way nobody can if Zion gets in some form of shape. And is he, as we speak, is he putting fork in mouth or is he on the Stairmaster or whatever?
Well, Skip, look. The guys had what? That season ended in July, so he's had 5 months. He's had a legit NBA offseason.
He has.
So there'll be no excuse. There would be no reason for him to be in peak, tip-top conditioning once they throw that ball up. But when they get to he should already be in shape by the time they get to December 1st, because I think that's when NBA camps open up.
Yep.
But when they tip the ball, the 23rd, the 24th, or Christmas Day, whatever the case may be, there's no reason Zion Williams should not be in the most absolute best condition of his life.
Okay, and there's no reason that Lonzo plus Zion shouldn't be a new dynamic duo.
They can be a dynamic duo, but so you got them playoffs?
Yep, I got them in the playoffs. I do, because now the spotlight will be on the youngest Ball, and I think the oldest Ball will start, like his career is about to start this year.
Oh, man, hold on. So what is Portland and Utah, Memphis? I mean, what's going on with it? I ain't talking about the big dogs. I ain't talking about them lead dogs. I'm talking about Lakers and Clippers and Nuggets. I ain't talking about them.
I already told you, Zion is a life changer.
Golden
State. He's got to be in shape. Now, I don't know. I'm not sure now they're even going to make the playoffs.
But you for certain that
I just love Zion, and I love the combination of Lonzo plus Zion. Here we go. This is made to order.
How about this here? I just want you to tell me this. Who's going to play defense besides Lonzo?
I don't know. Lonzo's really good. There's not much better perimeter.
Well, he can't guard all 5 positions. Zion gonna play some defense?
Zion played a lot of defense at Duke. He was a rim protector.
Skip, he's not at Duke.
Shot blocker.
Okay, is he gonna play defense now?
I'm just saying this is Lonzo's time to shine out of the spotlight.
Skip, man, oh my goodness. Skip, the man was in New Orleans last year. I think the expectations of being Lakers, being a point guard, I think that had a lot to do with it.
Yep.
Could you imagine if Anthony Davis had gotten drafted by the Lakers with that lineage AD had developed, and so it's easy for him to embrace of being a big in the Lakers. And you think about Chamberlain, you think about Jabbar, you think about Shaq. Okay.
Yep. Did you see Lonzo standing in the shadows last night in the background?
Because that was Melo's moment.
It was.
That's Melo's moment.
And plus, Lonzo does not love the spotlight.
Right.
Melo does. You got it.
Okay.
So here we go. I'm happy for Lonzo. This is the best thing that could have happened to him.
Clippers will not be on opening day.
Well, how do you know that? Are you dreading that? Are you fearing
well,
that?
dread
You
what?
trying to
A
pull
little bit.
strings?
I fear nothing.
Yeah.
Nerves?
But y'all just trying to get some shine.
Yep.
That side of the table? Okay.
So wait a second. Rondo could get his ring and then beat the Lakers as a Clipper. That would be beautiful.
Skip.
I would love that.
What a night that would
What
be,
a
right?
night.
You know?
What them do?
I'd watch.
We coming. We got a squad.
Shannon,
We
do you
Really?
have a
geared
ring
up.
I think
yet?
you're going.
Actually, I feel like you're expecting to get a ring as well. But
Yep. I'll be down there.
Oh, okay. You'll be there?
They got one fan allowed in the building. I mean,
No mercy.
Kyler Murray is confident heading into tonight's division rematch against Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Kyler wasn't even hit in their last outing against Seattle, with the Cardinals winning 37-34 in overtime. Kyler also outplayed Russell Wilson in that one, throwing 2 fewer picks than the Seahawks at quarterback. Former NFL defensive back Orlando Scandrick joining us now. So, Orlando, in your opinion, who wins this one tonight?
Cardinals. I got 3 reasons. Seattle's playing at home. There's no 12th man because of this whole COVID-19 thing. Seattle is banged up. They're banged up on offense. Lockett's banged up. Not sure if Hyde's going to play, but they're missing both starting cornerbacks. It's just going to be hard to cover up those guys. And DeAndre Hopkins and Murray are really starting to build a chemistry. And the third thing, the Seattle Seahawks can't rush the passer. They're not able to get stops when they need to get stops. And they went from the Legion of Boom to the Legion of Doom.
I agree with everything you say. I wanted to pick Seattle, but I'm picking the Cardinals for all the reasons O said. Seattle's defense is terrible. Skip, I mean, I kept telling you, I said, they can't rush the passer. That's why they tried to make that trade for Aldon Smith. They tried to re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. And so now, and you're giving up 470 yards of offense per game, and then your quarterback's turning it over.
Well, they sacked Josh Allen 7 times at Buffalo.
Yes,
But
right?
Skip, they didn't touch Kyler Murray one time.
Okay, I got it.
You know, and the thing about Skip, yeah, they sacked him, but look at all the yards that they gave up. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem. And I just don't, and Russ is turning the ball over. They don't protect Russ because just like they got to Josh Allen, people sacking Russ. And Russ got 10 turnovers in 4 games. If your defense is playing that bad, the last thing you want to do as an offensive unit is turn the ball over. And Seattle, for whatever reason, they got in this rut where they're turning the ball over offensively. And as you said, they don't rush the passer. They don't do anything defensively particularly well. They got Bobby Wagner. And now Kyler Murray's playing unbelievable. All these rushing touchdowns. He's got a chemistry. And I was just reading D-Hop just got a 99 rating on TK. So now he about to go out there and go for about 200 yards on him.
Madden.
Oh, man, yeah. So now he about to go out there and go for 200 yards on him. So, no, I'm taking Kyler. I'm taking Kyler.
So you guys just made me switch my pick because I always take Kyler because I picked them to be a wild card team, and my partner laughed at me across the table. He's not laughing now. But since both of you are taking the visiting team, I'm going to take the quote-unquote home team. You know why? Because Russell Wilson is just getting too disrespected. He's still really good.
He is.
And he's primetime big and good, right?
Can he play defense?
Okay. I got it. There's no 12th man. It's empty. It's quiet. It's a tomb in there.
Yes.
They have been
Can he play
horrible.
defense?
Yeah.
Can he play middle linebacker, strong safety, corner? Which one of those can he play?
I get it. All the above. But is DK Metcalf going to play? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Tyler Lockett going to play? Yeah. Is Carlos Hyde going to play? Because he's at least respectable. He's credible.
Yes.
Right? I'll take Russell, and it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a barn burner. I recommend that you watch it right here on this network.
Yes.
Because on Fox. Because points are going to get scored because they got scored at Arizona. Right. It went into overtime, and it's just like one big play after another. But I'm not going to just rule out Russell Wilson on prisoner of the moment overreaction. That's what you're doing right now.
No.
You say, well, he's on this tear where he's leading the NFL in turnover.
He is.
Yeah.
I didn't make that up.
Okay.
That's factual.
Okay, wait a second. Aren't they still 6-3?
Yes. But weren't at one point, weren't they like 6-1? They were 5-0?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Plenty of time to right that ship.
Okay, so while you over there thumping your chest about y'all gonna make the playoffs, Arizona is plenty of time for them to go into a tailspin.
Okay.
But not tonight.
Okay, I did not love the way Arizona played against Buffalo because It was done. They gave up the big pass play, right? What was it, 34 seconds left to Diggs?
Skip, that was a great throw.
34 seconds left?
There ain't nothing you can do about that. Pat P had him covered.
Okay.
Is that the same team that ran your Seattle Seahawks out of Ralph Wilson Stadium?
Wait, don't call him mine. I'm all about Kyler. I'm just saying, you asked me who's going to win. Well, I got two guys saying, it's over.
Tonight on Fox, they're yours. But Skip, let's get back. Keep the main thing. Skip, we're not discounting Russell Wilson. Wilson is phenomenal. He's playing good football, but of late, he's turned it over a little bit. I feel like he's pressing because that defense is not able to get him extra possessions, not able to get him stops. And it's just going to be difficult. This is two teams trending in two different directions. Russell is at his best when they have a ground game and they can control it, and then he can cook when it's his time. But when he has to just drop back and pass 50 times a game, bad things happen for any quarterback.
And because he knows his defense can't stop anybody, he says, I got to score. And sometimes he's taking unnecessary risks. You have to, and he feels he has to do that. Because I know you know the play I'm talking about, he had a play on Sunday against the Rams. He could have scrambled. He's going to get the first down at worst. Best case, he's going to score. And he pulls up and throws it to the left end zone, and the guy's covered. But that just goes because he's like, man, my defense can't stop them. So I got to force these. I got to try to score points to put pressure on them. And he ended up turning the football over. And again, all these sacks they gave up. Think about it, Skip. He got sacked 6 times on Sunday, and not one of them by Aaron Donald.
Well, what did I tell you about Aaron Donald?
Man, stop that.
I say, where is he?
Aaron Donald got 9 sacks. Stop playing, Skip.
All right, well, every time he plays my team, he gets no sacks and like one tackle, further, but that's okay.
Let's go back further. Let's go back into the desert in overtime. Russell Wilson's errant throw to hit Isaiah Simmons in the chest. He ain't made a play since he's been in the NFL.
He wasn't even playing. He got some DMPs.
He got the early Christmas present. And so I just think that tonight, they won't be able to get enough stops. Russell will have to press. I don't look to see Russell throw a bunch of interceptions or turn it over, but I just don't think that they can stop him. I think there's going to be points scored. There's just going to be more points by the Cardinals.
Okay, what happened at the end of last year when Seattle was riding high? This rookie named Kyler Murray went up to Seattle and beat them with the 12th man in the stands.
Well, then you might as well
jump, the loudest outdoor
jump on the bandwagon because the 12th man not going to be there.
Okay,
so you might as well.
I'm saying, so they beat him then, and then they beat him in Arizona in overtime.
And you going against the grain.
Okay, you don't think Seattle's got pride enough to say that's enough of this in this division, in a division game?
On the train, though.
Here's the thing, though. You don't think they got pride after giving up 500 yards to everybody that they played against, and they still do it? That prideful bunch is giving up 500 yards a game, total offense. They ain't got no pride?
They got a lack of talent on.
That's what that is.
They went and acquired Jamal Adams, and it just right now it doesn't even look like it fits in what they're doing.
First of all, your defense can't be that good. If your safety is your leading sacker and he's been out 3 or 4 games and he's still your leading sacker, that doesn't bode well. That's not a good look, Skip.
Okay, but Seattle, the odds makers still say Seattle's a 3-point favorite, right? So if you tell me you'll give me Seattle straight up even on the game, I'd take Seattle.
I gave him to you.
Okay.
You can't get a case?
Yep, I'll do a case. And I love Kyler. I will root for Kyler. But just on principle of you are overreacting about Russell Wilson. You are disrespecting him. You're writing him off. You are being prisoner of moments.
Yeah, the moment that I saw was 3 interceptions. Against the 4 turnovers I saw against the Rams. The moment that I saw was the 3 turnovers against the Cardinals. You know what I mean? He had the guy high for a touchdown. He threw it to Buda Baker. And DK Metcalf doesn't run him down. That's a 90-plus yard touchdown.
Yep.
I saw the interception in the end zone to Pat P.
Skip being a rebel.
I'm not being a rebel. When I hear 2 people say it's a done deal and you're picking the underdog on the road in a division game, I'm saying timeout. I'd already picked them. I picked Arizona 38-35. I'm switching my pick.
But hold on. But Kyler's your guy. You got kids say Kyler should be up high in the MVP discussion.
Yeah, he's going to put up big numbers tonight. But you really trust the Arizona defense also? You trust it that much more than you trust Seattle?
I trust them better than DJ Reed and Trey Flowers playing corner for me.
Hey.
Yeah, I do.
Russell Wilson on Thursday night in a division game. Look out.
They play with a lot of confidence.
I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle wins this by a couple of touchdowns. Seriously. Have you seen DK Metcalf lately?
Yeah, he pouts when he doesn't get the ball. Did you see him?
No, I have not seen him pout. Have you? I'm interested.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was upset on Sunday.
I have not seen him pout.
That's what you do. See
I'm
what?
talking about sideline pouting.
Oh.
I'm talking about pouting. You don't look at the game from that. When you look at it from a player's perspective, you know when somebody's frustrated when they feel like they're open. You see this, he feel like I'm running 9 balls all game. I got this little video corner on me running 9s and it's not coming to me.
That's what you like. That's what you do. You double. See, I would double team all the top receivers. I would double them early, not let them get the ball, because I know what's going to happen. Pretty soon, you're going to go to the sideline. You're going to start showing the coaches, the quarterback, the pitcher. I was like, yeah, I got him now.
Okay, good. I say let Russ cook the Cardinals.
No mercy.
Maury didn't take long to make moves as the 76ers' new president of basketball operations. Yesterday, Philly traded for Seth Curry in exchange for Josh Richardson and last night's 36th pick. Seth is second all-time in career three-point shooting percentage and perhaps more importantly is also the son-in-law to new head coach Doc Rivers. So, Shannon, is it a good thing or a bad thing that Doc will be coaching his son-in-law?
I look at Doc. If he can coach your son, he damn sure can coach your son-in-law. As long as
I don't know. The son-in-law could be even more difficult in some ways.
No. As long as there's no nepotism going on, there's no favoritism.
I got it.
You'll be just fine. I think the problem that people have is that they thought he's showing favoritism towards his son.
Hey, I think a guy named Chris Paul thought that.
Yeah, yep. And so that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But if Seth can shoot the ball, Skip, and it gives them a spacer on the floor so you can't clog the lane and try to, double down. You double down on Embiid. He kicks out to Seth Curry, who, as Jenny mentioned, has the second best three-point percentage in NBA history.
History. To Steve Kerr.
Yes.
Now the coach of the Golden State Warriors.
So I like it. I don't think it's going to be a problem, Skip. I really don't think it's going to be a problem. Like you said, hey, I understand that's my son-in-law, but I'm trying to win games. Because if you don't win games, son-in-law will be out of the league and you'll be out of the league.
But when baby girl calls and says, Daddy, why aren't you playing my guy a little more?
The check,
right?
hey, you be like, Callie, the check still come. Does he still get played on the 1st and 15th? Okay, baby.
Okay. Look, I do not love this dynamic as far as father to son-in-law.
But Daryl Morey made the move.
Daryl Morey made the move, and I guarantee you Doc blessed the move because you kept saying the Mavericks should have beaten the Clippers in the first round. Am I right?
Yeah.
And obviously, I was rooting for the Clippers, and every time the ball left Seth Curry's hands, I said, that's good, because he can, speaking of cooking, like let Russ cook, Seth Curry can cook right there with his brother any day or any night. And in fact, in career three-point shooting, he's actually 4 spots above his brother at 44.3. And last year, he shot for the Dallas Mavericks 45% from 3. And Daryl Morey was giddy last night after they pulled this move off and said their whole draft night was geared to landing Seth Curry. It cost them Josh Richardson, who's a much better defender. And that's what Dallas wanted, was a defender. But listen, Seth Curry, as Morey was raving about, when you add an elite shooter, he called him a gravity elite shooter. I don't know what the gravity means, but whatever that means, it's some analytical term. But an elite shooter added, it changes the dynamic, said Daryl Morey, for Joel and Ben.
Right.
Because all of a sudden, they've been at their best when they had one dead-eye shooter.
J.J. Redick.
That you could trust, that would just nail threes when they needed to be nailed and take the pressure off those two interacting in and around the post. Well, this is just what the doctor ordered, is Seth.
Right.
So what happened with Austin? Well, he had some of his best years for his father.
He did.
Was it nepotism? Was his father giving him too green of a light and playing him too many minutes? You could certainly argue, because the Clippers finally just came all apart. They unraveled around that dynamic.
Right.
But that last year in 2018 that Austin played for Doc, he had his best numbers ever. He averaged 15 a game. He shot 38% from 3. I think Seth will warm to the situation, because it's pretty cool to have Doc as that guy to start, as your coach to start with. But when you got a connection with,
what do you call him? He called him coach. He called him Doc. He called him Pop.
Pops. I don't know. But the point is, this will help make the Sixers more of a contender. Now, I'm a big fan of Joel plus Ben. You're not so much.
No.
But Morey said yesterday, We're going to try.
Right.
The reports were all that, I don't think he said it. I think it got reported by Mark Stein. We are going to try this for a while, at least up to the trade deadline, to see how it blends.
Right.
Well, they just got the catalyst for it in Seth Curry.
Right. And I think the thing is, Skip, you said defense, but you got enough with Joel Embiid protecting the paint. Ben Simmons is a defender.
Hey, you don't think he can defend?
Yeah,
the highest level?
So you be willing to give up Josh Richardson and some defense to get more offense and get more space on the court.
Yep, I do agree. So in the end, I think this was the move of the night for a contending team.
Well, the move of the night was get rid of Al Horford. That was the move of the night.
And you know what? In reverse, it was a pretty special move because it's hard to unload that much money, and he unloaded it.
Yes.
It cost him some draft picks.
Yeah. But
thanks to Sam Presti, and here they go again.
I mean, think about it. And Sam Presti got a first-round pick for Danny Green.
Yep. And I assume the Sixers want Danny Green as
another spacer.
Okay, I think so.
I mean, he's not the defender that he once was. No. But Skip, he still can space. He still can knock down some threes.
He will torment you with his hot cold.
Yes.
But again, would I want him on? Yeah, I'd want him on my team.
Because remember opening night, Skip, how many threes he hit opening night? He hit like 6 or 7 opening night.
He's highly capable.
And then he goes 6 or 7 games and he can't make one.
He's also capable of missing the one that would have won the Jimmy Butler game, right?
Yeah, and we supposed to have won in the Mamba jersey. That's what we supposed to have done.
Yep. So he cost you a Mamba jersey victory, and he took the shine off those jerseys. He jinxed.
Because they're supposed to have been undefeated. We supposed to, they closed those out, never wore them again. Hey, undefeated in the Mamba jersey. Now we got to wear them one more time to get that stink up off them. You know what? We might do that if we play you know who. We might put the Mambas on.
Opening night?
It might.
Put them on.
Might. Just might.
They're now tainted.
They're not tainted?
Yeah, they are. They lost their magic.
How big is that ring?
Well, when you're buying cubic zirconia, you could get one that's like 10 inches tall.
I mean, Jeannie said you need a welder's mask to look at that thing.
Really?
Yeah, so you got to put that mask on when they diamond so big and bright.
Really?
Yep, that's what Jeannie said. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, all I know for sure is the Sixers, thanks to Daryl Morey, just became much more of a contender.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the heat is on Steph Curry to live up to his back-to-back MVPs this year with no Klay. And maybe baby brother is starting to say, well, wait a second, what about me?
Golden State should trade Steph to us, to the Lakers.
Well, why would they do that?
Why not? I mean, don't they want to win championships?
Huh?
Can you imagine Steph and LeBron and AD?
Well, do you want it just to be completely rigged so that you can win again?
You ain't got no problem with it being rigged if the Brooklyn Nets get James Harden. You ain't got nothing about riggery.
Yeah, but you don't think that'd be rigged. You think that'd be a disaster.
But, hey, don't you think this would be a disaster with Steph and LeBron?
Nope, I do not think that would be.
Are you trying to trick him into something, Shannon? I don't know.
Hey.
Laughing over there.
I think that's what should happen.
Skip, stop bringing up the cubic zirconium ring. Like, you say that so much on the show. It's still a championship around here. We can't discredit it.
You a hater.
No mercy.
Guys, listen up. Tom Brady has given DeAndre Hopkins high praise. The receiver tweeted that he would give a signed jersey to the best meme response to his game-winning catch last week over 3 defenders. Brady responded with a GOAT meme, which prompted Hopkins to say, quote, and Tom Brady wins again, followed by, of course, the GOAT emoji. So, Shannon, is this the greatest catch of all time?
First of all, Skip, Tom Brady is not going to win any funny contest on social media, okay? Let's just get that out of the way. Tom Brady just happened to be the most... Skip, Tom Brady just happened to be the most famous person that entered the contest.
Yes,
you know good well this and that. So Dwight Clark catch didn't even happen, huh?
That happened.
What are we going to do with Lynn Swann catching the Super Bowl?
That worked.
Skip, I know they lost the game. But do you think that catch was better than Odell Beckham, one hand behind his head?
It was not.
Come on.
I don't even think it was in the same league with Odell's catch.
Even Calvin Johnson, I mean,
There's Odell. That's a catch.
What are we going to do about the catch that you hate the most? The helmet catch in the Super Bowl by David Tyree.
I don't know what that is. That's just luck. That's not a catch. That is not luck, but I will say...
But watch Megatron.
Okay.
3 guys. So we just saw this before.
Yeah. I don't know. I might like D-Hop's more than that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, Skip, that's not the greatest catch of all time.
Okay, I got to go with Odell, though, even though it was the beginning of the end of Odell Beckham as we knew him, right?
Yes.
Because it ruined him from that, because he's a rookie and he's playing the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football.
If I'm not mistaken, that's his first game, too, Skip. Because remember, he was hurt. Remember, he was hurt. He missed the first 4 games.
During that game. Later, he was out of the game for a while. And guess who won the game? Not the New York Football Giants. My Cowboys won 31-28.
Yes.
And that sent Odell spiraling down the path of trying to live up to that catch the rest of his life. And it ruined him.
And think about it, Skip. Anybody makes a one-handed catch, what do they say? That's an Odell Beckham catch.
That is correct. And poor Brandon Carr, he was victimized again.
Yes.
He lasted for years in the league, playing every game until Dallas cut him again this year.
That was, look, it won the ball game, but that's not even close to being the greatest catch of all time. Now, send me my jersey, D-Hop.
Maybe we'll have some more magic from Kyler tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Good stuff today, guys. We'll break it down tomorrow on Undisputed. Have a good day.
Skip and Shannon, skip and Hopkins, took these sports and made them pop it. All right, Undisputed.